it's scary to set boundaries because you can feel alone. Yeah, in the physical world, it does. It feels like separation sometimes. But if you set them with love, it's like, I'm not blocking you or banishing you from my life, but we need to have some guidelines here, you know? So it's kind of like, could you call before you come over? And if I can't text you right back right away, don't get upset. You know, like I don't want to feel your anger coming through the text messages because I'm not at your beck and call, or whatever it is, you know. Or if you have a family member or a friend that's getting involved in your personal business, like a relationship with somebody else or what have you, you can just be like, thanks for your opinion. We don't need to discuss it unless I ask, you know. So these are some ways where you can set perimeters for what works for you. And if they don't want to listen, then, I mean, you have to respect yourself, right? So those are some things to really consider there. There's so many different ways, and you also have to think, like, what does it mean for protection? And if you look at the picture, what does that look like? So for myself, protection is having a strong auric field and really trusting my intuition and my team. If I get a bad vibe about something, you don't have to analyze it. It's like, okay, you know, that's not flowing. I've got a bad vibe. I don't really know if you can access your team with magic mushrooms. I think you can become happy with it, but I don't really know that question. So, okay, Mimi Cat asks, I'm feeling blocked. Can you sense anything around me? Thank you and so much. All right, you're welcome. Okay, so let me tune in. So 1 second. I'm just going to shift my energy to a more personal reading. Well, there's a lot of energy, kind of like commotion energy around your ears and your third eye and your crown. So there's a lot of thinking, mental energy, a lot of thinking. But I also see some energy out in the heart, like 2 feet from the heart in the chakra, and then down around the back of your sacral. So I feel that you're just probably processing information, or there's energy that doesn't belong to you. And let me look real quick. Yeah, you're letting go of stuff from the past and it's pulling at the heart is what I'm getting. And then your mind's eye is where you're kind of trying to process it all and think what's going on. But definitely they want you to ground more, which is interesting. We were just talking about that. So grounding more and letting the energy run through your system. And do where like the light comes down through the crown and grounds into your feet. And if you want to join the free Zoom on Sunday, we always do the guided meditations that are designed for healing purposes, because, you know, there's so many ways you can meditate. We can meditate to access past lives or meet a guide, but these are for healing purposes. And there's probably, I think there's 4 up right now from the past that you can access. But yeah, so flushing that through and then opening up the back of all the chakras. So the back of the chakras typically relate to the past, and that's probably what's holding you back. And sometimes we might feel that we have an understanding what it's about, but it can come in layers. So I feel like you'll be getting more information around it. So hopefully that helps, just give you a little bit of areas to focus on. Okay, and then if you guys want to put your questions, it might be easier at the bottom. There's a little question mark box. Yeah, there's one that just came through. How can I heal jealousy? Is that happening for me soon? Okay, so you're looking to heal jealousy within yourself. It's kind of the approach I'll take. My dog is so stubborn. He can see me because we have a glass door, and he's just like out there wanting in, but then he falls asleep and snores. So I don't know what's even the best option here, if he's snoring or barking, like whatever. Maybe I should just let him in real quick, and then I will come back to this. So Nicole, if you're here, let me know if the jealousy, if you're talking about like you are jealous, or if there's somebody in your life that's jealous for you. Okay, 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, you're the jealous one in every way, which is overwhelming. I feel like it might be past life or trauma from this reality, like childhood trauma. So I'd work with a past life therapist or a hypnotherapist to access in this life. It's something that's followed you through. And then we're gonna go real deep with this. Hope it's okay. So also attachments have attached to that. So in the astral realm, there's energies and entities and spirits that will find something similar to what you're experiencing, and they latch on because they get a high and they feed off of that energy. Sorry, my eye's been twitching. I've been on the computer so much, my eye's strained. But these astral energies will feed on an emotion. That's why we can say, oh, I'm trying to rid myself of this habit, or this emotion, I get triggered so intensely, and you're trying to work through it. You basically have to starve the habit or go see somebody and have that spirit, if it is related to a spirit, released and cleared off of you or out of your conscious awareness. They can be in the aura, they can be in the chakra, they can be in an organ. It's really, next level stuff. But I feel for you that it's past life, and there's a little bit of energy from the astral realm that's benefiting from that. So I would work every time that you feel jealous, replace it with like 10 opposite thoughts or emotions. And I would even write out a whole list of why that's ridiculous. Like, why should I not feel jealous? So that when it comes up, you can reference to it. So you're trying to reprogram your system. And, it's interesting, but I know it can be done. I've seen this where that's what I do. As part of what I do is I clear entities off of people. And sometimes they're big, and sometimes they've been starved and they're tiny and they're weak, so they can be starved. But past life stuff, going back to the past life, when you go into a regression, you will see the source cause, and that awareness subconsciously will let your system know what it's about, and then you can heal through that experience. So those are some aspects to it. But yeah, I would say meditation, light body clearing. You can work with the archangels to ask them to release it. There is a past life regression on spiritschoolmagic.com. It's $33. It's an hour-and-a-half experience, and you can do it repeatedly. And I've had a lot of feedback from students and clients that have done this regression. But for your case, I would go in with the intention that that's what your intention is. You want to see where did this jealousy initiate. And also, I feel like there was something around age 3 and 4. So something happened when you were like 3 and 4, preschool age, and that will get lodged in the subconscious mind of this lifetime. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so let's see. And somebody just asked about how can you heal getting angry? You're often angry. So very, very similar. Very similar thing in that you would just go back to the source. Whenever that emotion comes up, you can say, well, why am I feeling this? And try and rationalize it. And sometimes anger and jealousy are appropriate, so sometimes it's okay. So just kind of go back to it. But how can you heal your anger? Yeah, you have a lot of fire. Yeah, Reiki, I see a lot of fire energy around you. So they're saying water and cool elements. So work with some cooling elements and like sizzle, put the steam out before you let it take over. So like we're talking about at the beginning, they're saying just breathe, just start breathing, and you can work through. But yoga and meditation will help you. And then you have a lot of energy stored in your sacral and your root chakra that when it gets that the anger just rises. So if you can ground it down and displace it and clear those chakras a bit, that will help. So start balancing the higher chakras and then dissolving some of that frequency that's overactive in the lower ones, definitely at the back of your sacral also, and your root. So hopefully that really helps you, a place to start. If I understand you correctly, you're feeling your energy is draining. Immediately I see that there's some tears in your auric field, actually like a really big one, and they can start really small, and then over time with stress they can separate even more. It becomes a larger tear. So let me ask them for you. You need more sleep, and in the sleep ask for healing work. Archangel Jeremiel is coming in, and he often deals with life reviews and finding solutions and wisdom from situations. So that's interesting that he's coming in. Like if I were to just clinically say from a book, I would have said Raphael, he's the archangel for healing. But it goes deeper than that. Jeremiel's working with you because this has brought up some deeper levels of information for you to work through. And there, again, this is like a spiritual experience that goes beyond this lifetime. So it's about boundaries and self-care, hearing initiations and understanding how is it playing in your life right now. And so really getting back to center through meditation or prayer work, like who am I and where do I want to be, where do I want to go. And then you just invite the archangels in or your team of guides to come in and start working on you and healing that. And just, if you can go in and visualize and just imagine or observe, like, what would it look like if I have a tear in my aura, and just see, you'll see it. And then you bring light in and you start weaving it back and forth, kind of like you're sewing it like a suture. And then that's the first step. Then they typically will bring in a layer of light that's like salve, and they put it over it, and it stays there until it's healed fully. So that's what I would say. It's a pretty big gap, but that's your most significant whatever, like, source of fatigue. And when our aura is ripped or loose, or thin, I should say, I guess it could be loose in some areas, when it's not full, like a blown up balloon, you know, like really full and strong, that is when other people's energies and emotions and that whole empathic thing, we become so sensitive in an unhealthy way. And it's hard to get a sense of your thoughts with your emotions. So, and then you start to feel physical symptoms. So I would say that would be the first place, what I'm getting, the very first place to work with. And you can go see an energy therapist, which I offer it, or you can find another one, or you can try working on your own with your team. But that's the significant aspect right now, is there's a big rip in the aura. So yeah, it's not a block, it's a tear, but then you might see other things after that. Okay, so talking about the auras, the next one is, how can I strengthen my aura? I went through betrayal and trauma. So you still have fragments from the situation. They look like fragments, but they're really projections. So whatever that was, whatever the experience was, it's lodged in your system, around your heart chakra, around your sacral chakra, and in the aura. So a clearing to release that, to clear that out. And they're saying Jeremiel again. So call on Archangel Jeremiel, because this is an interaction experience. And then Michael, to put a strong buffer of light around you. So it's like, we got to get it out, and then we're going to keep it out. And naturally, for everybody, some of the best ways to strengthen the aura are happy, positive emotions and thoughts. You know, that always helps. Doing meditation and breathing, eating healthy and sleeping, because it's an energetic and it's a physical, you know, way to help strengthen and heal it. When the physical body is healthy, our aura is stronger, and vice versa. So when the aura is weak, then the body can start to feel weak as well. So yeah, I would say to do a clearing meditation. And this is, you have control. This is where you're going to claim your sovereignty, and you'll be very demanding. You have to be. Say, this is not my energy. I do not want it here. Please transmute it or take it out of my system. That's why I call in Metatron or any of the archangels. It's like, it's not supposed to be here. Well, you just take it where it needs to go, because I've seen it go back to the time and the event. I've also seen energy go back to the people that it came from. And I've also seen them take the energy frequencies, like the fragments, up to the light and just transmute it. So clearing will be your first thing. And that is a part, that's like a huge part when we go through trauma, is that there's energy lodged in your system, and you might have fragmented and left your energy somewhere else. So based on the results of the clearing and the strengthening through prayer, meditation, breath work, eating healthy, sleeping, then I would say, if that's not fully resolving it, do a soul retrieval.